Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I can't wait to jump into today's video because I'm going to be showing you guys how to use Procreate if you're a beginner. I'm just going to be going over some basic tips and tricks and kind of show you guys around and just how to use Procreate. All right, y'all, so just in case you are like brand new, maybe you don't even have Procreate and you're just like looking into it because maybe you've heard about it or whatever. In that case, Procreate is basically like an illustration drawing app. I mean, to me, it's so much more than that just because I do everything on Procreate, you guys. I make my thumbnails on Procreate for my YouTube videos. Even my intro on all of my YouTube videos was made on Procreate, along with all of my sticker designs, Tumblr designs, the sublimation designs that I put on my t-shirts. I have designed basically everything that I use from my small business to my YouTube channel using the app Procreate. Now, I do want to say that I believe Procreate is only available on the App Store, meaning you won't be able to use this if you aren't using it on an Apple product. So that was kind of unfortunate, but I kind of knew that getting into it. I knew that I wanted Procreate. Procreate is actually the reason I ordered this specific iPad because I wanted the largest screen possible. So this is like the 12-inch or it's like 12.9, I don't know, something like that. Because I knew I was going to be designing all of my sticker designs, Tumblr designs, shirt designs, everything on here. So I knew that this was an investment that was going to pay for itself over time. And with that being said, Procreate is not a free app. It's only $10 to download. You don't have to pay like an annual subscription or anything like that. It's literally just $10 once to download it and you're good to go. Now, I will say you can buy like add-ons like certain paintbrushes and fonts and stuff offline if you would like to. There are a ton of sellers, like even on Etsy, that sell their fonts and their brushes that they use so that you can download them and use them in your Procreate, usually for a super cheap price too. So I just wanted to mention that, but you absolutely do not have to download anything. All of their basic stuff that it comes with is pretty much all I use all the time. So you don't need to download any of the extra stuff if you don't want to. So anyways, I just wanted to mention that just in case you are new, maybe you don't even have it and you're just looking into getting Procreate. So real quick, just to show you guys like my gallery, like I said, I literally design everything on here from my YouTube channel to all of my designs and stickers and everything. So whenever you open Procreate, it will obviously just be like a black blank gallery, and you'll just come over here and you can either import something or you can just hit add to add a new canvas. Now they do give you some pre-made canvas options like with all the different sizing. I pretty much almost always am designing on the paper size, the 11 by 8.5, because I do print a lot of the things that I design on here. Otherwise, I'm just designing on like a square or something, but 9 times out of 10, I'm using the paper size because it does like pretty much fill up the screen. So I like that, and I like that whenever I design, I know exactly how it's going to be printed out on the piece of paper. So now just to give you guys a basic tour. So over here, this is going to be your color wheel, and you can change it between if you want the disc, the classic, harmony, a value where you can like actually put in like the hexadecimal if like you know color codes and all that, or if you want to look at color palettes, you can do this way. I just like to use the disc most of the time. So right now I just have black selected as my color. And then over here, these two little squares right here, these are your layers. So you can change your background color if you want to like any color that you want, or if you uncheck this over here, you can make it where it's going to be a transparent background and you're not going to have anything filled in the background. Now, just so you guys can see, I'm obviously going to be drawing on a white background. But to add layers, you just hit this little plus sign. And then once you start drawing on a layer, Then you can come over here. If you click on it, it gives you a bunch of options over here, which we might get into that a little bit later. If you come over here, this is your eraser tool, and you can just erase whatever you drew, and you can change the sizing of your paintbrush or your eraser, whatever tool you're using. Over here on this little sizing, you see how that point right there is getting bigger. That's the size of this brush. And then this sliding tool down here is the opacity. So if it's going to be a transparent brush where you're just doing some shading or whatever. And then this little middle square right here in between the little sliding bars, you can actually grab a color. If you're trying to like pull a color from an image and try to match it, you can do it that way. Now, I typically only use the eraser tool to just touch up, but a lot of the times if I'm just trying to undo what I just wrote, then if you use 2 fingers and tap them on the screen at the same time, it will undo whatever you just did. So we can just erase what I did. Or if you want to redo it, then you can use 3 fingers and tap and it'll pop right back up. So 2 fingers to undo, 3 to redo. And over here, this is your paintbrush library where you can pick all of your different paintbrushes. You can make folders in here if you want to and put like your favorite brushes. I don't have anything like that because I typically just use the same brushes and I'll just go to recent. But they have a ton of brushes in each of these categories and you can customize them if you would like to. All right, so I'm gonna choose a different color over here and then I'm gonna show you guys what this other thing does. So this little guy over here, it's like a finger point. It kind of just like smears whatever you're drawing. So you see how it kind of like blends it. So then over here, if you click this little cursor button, then it will grab that entire layer. Everything that you drew on that layer, it will select it. And then you have some options down here. So freeform, I can stretch and move this around, size it, and it's just free forming. If I hit uniform, it's going to keep it at whatever dimensions I drew it at and just make it smaller or larger depending on which way you are dragging these little points. If I hit distort, it's obviously going to distort the image, and clicking different points will distort it from different angles, you see? And then warp, same exact thing. You are gonna warp it from different angles depending on what points you are selecting. This is also an important tool because if you do like any designs for sublimation where you have to like mirror your image, you have to select your image and then you can flip it horizontal or vertical depending on, you know, the direction of your image so that you can flip it and it will be sublimated correctly. You can also just rotate it 45 degrees all the way around if you like. You can make it fit to canvas. There's just a ton of things. Okay, so before I show you guys the next thing, I just need to draw some stuff like randomly. Okay, so this little ribbon tool, it looks like a little S, it's like a ribbon. You just hit that and then I always select freehand and then you just draw around your images on that layer like so. And then I can hit the little cursor button and then you can move that entire image like if you needed to move something over on that side of the canvas. You can also copy and paste something by using this ribbon tool. So I'm just gonna hit the ribbon tool again. I'm just gonna draw around this star and then I'm gonna hit copy and paste. And then it should have pasted it. So then we can just select it and drag it. And there we have our little copy and pasted star. And you can do a bunch of other things using that tool as well. Now with this little wand here, and it has like little magic stars around it, you can actually change the layer that you have selected or that you're currently drawing on. And you can change the hue, saturation and brightness, the color balance, the curves, the gradient map. This is a really cool one, the Gaussian blur. You just press your pencil down and slide it. So this star, because it was a copy and pasted star, it's on its own layer. So you see how when I'm sliding my pencil this way, it's not blurred at all. But when I slide it this way, you can see this blue bar sliding up and the percentage is going up. That's because I'm blurring that star completely. So you can kind of blur stuff if you would like to using that Gaussian blur. So that one's really cool. I use that one a lot. They also have motion blur, perspective blur, a ton of other effects that you can do. Liquify is another really cool one. Let me show you guys that real quick. Okay, so now we're gonna go to that liquify and watch this. We're just gonna drag our pencil around this canvas and it will start kind of like swirling everything around. We're gonna make this bigger. And look how cool that is. So then you can come over here to this little wrench, and this is where you can add a file, a photo. You can take a photo using your tablet if you'd like. You can add a text box, cut, copy the whole canvas. If you click over here on the canvas, you can crop and resize it, animation assist, page assist, drawing guide. The drawing guide is actually so cool. So if you are drawing something, maybe you're doing like your own font or something that where you need like a grid, this is kind of really nice to help you like write straight, but you can also edit your drawing guide. So if you want the lines to be super faded and barely see them, if you want them to be super dark where you can see them better, you can change the thickness of your lines, your grid size. If you want large squares, small squares, you can change all that. The assisted drawing is really cool. This symmetry one, check this out. So let's say we want to do a heart. If you start in the middle where this line is, it's going to mirror your image perfectly on the other side. Or let's say you wanted to draw a butterfly or something. So I think that's really cool. You can also share your canvas or your image design. You can change the type of image if you want it to be a PDF, a JPEG, a PNG. If you want to just share a specific layer, you can do that. Like I said, I also did my YouTube video intro on this using the animated GIF option. So if you're wanting to do some GIFs or some animations, you can also do that using Procreate. I think that is so cool, especially if you have a small business, or maybe you're a full-time artist and you just want to like share your artwork on social media or whatever. Let's say I wanted to share this cow sticker that I did. I can go up here and go to this time-lapse replay. As long as this is selected, which by the way, unless you mess with your settings, it should automatically record everything that you draw. So I think that's super cool. It'll automatically do it unless you switch this off. But if I go to this time-lapse replay, it's going to play this entire canvas that I was obviously playing with for a while. So we'll skip to the cow part where I started drawing the cow, but you'll start seeing me draw this. So I think that's a really cool feature because it puts it like in a hyperlapse video for you. You can obviously edit that down to like whatever you're wanting to share, obviously, but I just think that is a super cool feature because you don't have to set up your camera or screen record it. It automatically does it for you. And if you have your social media already set up on your iPad, then you can just turn around and post it directly from Procreate and share it on your Instagram story or as a TikTok or whatever. So I think that is super awesome. So like there's me drawing that entire cow. And then over here you have your preferences where you can change everything that you want to your specific preference. And then this obviously where it says gallery, you just click that and it takes you back to your gallery. So that's basically the tour of Procreate. Now I'm going to show you guys like just some beginner tips, like when you're drawing and starting to design your own stuff. Another trick that I also love is if like, let's say you're trying to draw a circle, if you just drag and hold, it will automatically round it out. Now, before I lift up my pencil, if I just tap a finger down, you see how it's stretching that circle? It's making it a perfectly round circle. So maybe I wanted a circle that was this shape, but if you want a perfectly round circle, before you lift your pencil up, just tap your finger down and then you can let go and then it'll make a perfect circle for you guys. And you can basically do that for every single shape that you draw. Let's say I want to draw a triangle. hold it down, it made a perfect little triangle. Tap my finger down, it made a perfectly equal on every side triangle, you see? Same thing with a square. I can hold it down and it will snap it, but if I press my finger down, it makes it into a perfect square. So I think that is a super handy hack. Also, instead of like sitting here and like, let's say I want to color in this square black, instead of sitting here and coloring this in, this would obviously take forever. I could, you know, up my brush size and color it in. That might be a little bit faster. But if you don't want to do that, if you drag your color to your shape, it automatically fills it in. But hopefully, I don't think you guys can even see that. So I filled this in and I see like this pixelated line, especially when I zoom in here, you can see that it didn't quite fill this in. So I want to show you guys how to fix that because I use that feature all the time. Like whenever I'm dragging my color to my item, whenever I'm dragging my color to my design and then it doesn't quite fill it in all the way. So if you drag your color and then you see a little pixelated line or it's not completely filling it in, which you guys might not be able to see here, but I can see it. If I slide my pencil to the left, I haven't lifted it up, it's not going to fill it in all the way. But if I slide it to the right, it's going to fill it in. And if I slide it all the way, it fills in the whole layer. You see that? So I just go slightly below before it changes all black. And then it fills it in all the way. And now that pixelated line isn't there and our circle is perfectly colored in. So I just wanted to show that to you guys. You can also, even after you've colored everything in, let's say we want to change the color of this, you can just drag it right over that. As long as you have that layer selected, you're good. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to select this layer. If I hit this little N right here, you can kind of put this like filter over that entire layer, or you can change the opacity. So you can see that there. Or if I tap the layer, I can rename it. Let's say I just want to put purple circle. So I have each of my layers labeled to what it is. Or I want to copy and paste that layer. Or maybe I want to fill the entire layer. Maybe I want to clear it. Maybe I want to create a mask. So this is something else that you guys will definitely need to know. So I put a layer over my circle. It's above my circle here. I'm going to show you guys something cool. So if I go over here and I hit add, insert photo, and I'm just going to use this image that I downloaded off of Etsy. So I'm just going to put this over my circle here. Now, if I select this image and I hit clipping mask, watch this. It's going to clip it right to that circle. So this is a super good hack. Like if you do rounds, if you need to do like cardstock rounds for car freshies or mugs or tumblers or stickers or whatever. Now from here, you could leave it like this, or if you take your two fingers and you slide those together, we just merge that layer. Now that purple circle doesn't exist anymore, and it is just this image. So this is now the design because we merged those layers. Now, obviously, if you want to undo that, you just hit your two fingers and we unmerged our layers and our purple circle is right here. So I think that is a super good trick to know also. I use that all the time. And there's also some other things on here where you can like invert, reference, you can merge it down with the layer if you don't want to do the finger thing. I just like the little finger shortcuts because they're just faster. But look, let's say I want to invert it. It's going to invert the colors for me. So that's kind of a cool effect if you wanted to do that. And I will say a pro tip would be if you are designing your own design on here, I would always create a new layer before you do anything to your design. Like let's say I like the way this looks right now. I'm not going to draw directly on this layer because if I accidentally hit gallery or I exit out of this or whatever, it's going to save that on that image. And just in case you don't like something, I just always recommend having it on an extra layer. You can always combine the layers later if you would like to. So I'm going to show you what I mean right now. So if let's say I didn't add a layer and I just have this right here and I write, hey, if I'm like, oh, I don't like the way that Y looks, I need to erase that. It's going to erase my entire circle with it. And obviously I don't want that to be the case. So before I would do that, I would add another layer and then write it. And that way, if I don't like it, I can take my eraser and it's just going to erase my word here. It's not going to erase my entire design. You see what I mean? So always have an extra layer, and then if you like it, you can always combine it if you don't. Just to show you, like if I actually wrote this on here, so you can see this is on the same layer. I'm gonna hit gallery. Now watch, I'm gonna go back to this and I'm like, okay, I don't like that. I wanna erase that Y. It's gonna erase your circle, and you can't hit your 2 fingers to undo it. You can't undo. Once you've exited your canvas, you cannot undo whatever you just did. So don't exit your canvas. It automatically saves when you exit if it's on that same layer. If it was on a separate layer and you exit and you come back, it's going to still be on a separate layer. So I just wanted to mention that because I kind of figured that out the hard way when I was first doing some designs on here. So just wanted to mention that. All right, guys. Well, if there is something that you are wanting me to teach you specifically, be sure to request that in the comments down below. For example, I have done a tutorial on how I draw and design my stickers. I've done a video on how you can get a border around your stickers. I've done some basic tutorials like that, but if there's something more specific that you guys are wanting to see, just let me know and I will add it to my to film list for you guys. But other than that, this was just a basic tutorial where I wanted to show you guys around Procreate and just show you the basic tips and tricks and what you need to know to get started in making your own designs. So with that being said, I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, please let me know by giving me a big thumbs up. And like I said, if you want me to show you guys something specific, just comment it down below. Or if you have any other questions or comments, just drop that comment down below as well. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, then be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so that you don't miss out on any other crafting tutorials or other small business related content. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.